Hi everyone. Um, in this video, I'm not going to do my usual introduction for um, two reasons. Number one, because here in New York it's almost 3 a.m. And number two, I've been really procrastinating about putting out this video for a while now. So I just want to cut to the chase and I want to address a few things quick before I say what I'm about to say. Number one, before you go and holler at me in the comments, please listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Okay? Please. Don't, I don't, I see a lot of people on YouTube, they don't listen and they just throw out comments before the person even has a chance, before they even listen to the person's explanation of what they're talking about. So, I know this is going to be controversial what I'm going to talk about, and um so I just ask that before you shout at me in the comments, please listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Thank you. And here we go. So, you guys remember my final verdict on iOS 13 video and how I basically was brutally honest and I was blunt about it. And I described how bad it is. Well, this is going to be an update to that with a whole new twist. And like I said, this is going to be controversial. But again, keep in mind, nothing's set in stone. So please refrain from, if you're going to go in the comments, refrain from doing so until you listen, and really listen to what I say first before you decide to leave a negative comment. Um, so I did the video about my final verdict on iOS 13. And since that video, things have not gotten any better. In fact, in some areas, it has actually got progressively worse, particularly voiceover. Voiceover in iOS 13 has been a piece of shit, okay? And I'm not exaggerating. Um, and so I've been thinking, okay, and this is where the controversy starts, okay? I've been weighing my options. And the thought of going back to where I started, going back to where I began, and using Android again has crossed my mind. This is something that I've been really thinking about, um, especially now with what has been added to Android. The accessibility improvements that I'm seeing that are occurring right now on Android, it is remarkable. And I brought this up. I said this on a status of mine. A friend of mine commented on my status. And it wasn't about Android or anything, but it kind of went into that. And I replied to him and I said, it seems as if um, TalkBack is progressing while VoiceOver is regressing. Um, so in Android recently, in Accessibility Suite 8.2, Google they finally added a Braille keyboard, folks. Yes, you now have something similar to Braille screen input on Android, and it's called Braille keyboard. And it is brilliant. I've heard it in use. My friend who switched to Android recently got a Pixel 4, um, did a demo. Actually, he did a demo on an original Pixel that he was borrowing. Well, it was actually his. He bought it from his girlfriend, but he did a demo on it for me over a FaceTime call, and I was blown away immediately. I was very, very impressed. Um, so I'm seeing all these improvements on Android, and I'm seeing just the amount of just the innovation that's going on in Android, and I'm thinking to myself, man, these improvements are absolutely worth it, and they make Android usable again. Now, I'm going to address the thing that I mentioned earlier about why you should, you know, why you should refrain from commenting anything negative before you hear before you hear me out. My whole thought process going into this is I'm going to give it time until iOS 14. I'm going to see what we get at WWDC, and I'm going to be following the beta cycle. I will be running the betas. I hope I can get my hands on beta 1 this year. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I hope I can. And I will be following the whole beta cycle and seeing what improves, if anything. And if voiceover continues to get worse and there's no improvement, I think I'm going to have to give up my Apple Watch and move over back where I started on Android. And it's not something that I thought I would consider, because honestly, guys, iOS 12 was brilliant. It was awesome. And there's other inconveniences of iOS 2 that are kind of annoying besides iOS 13, but I can kind of live with those. Except the one thing that really pisses me off is automations and shortcuts. It doesn't work. It's a piece of junk. It's just not. It's not good. I wouldn't waste your time using it. But I didn't think that I would get to this point. But from what I've been seeing with Android and the progression I've been seeing, I'm honestly impressed, and I'm honestly feeling won over again by Android. And with the bugs that's going on with iOS 13, without not just voiceover, but other things like um, just these weird things that the Apple breaks. I don't understand. I mean, this doesn't affect me too much, but how do you How do you screw up the VPN settings on iOS? How do you screw up VPNs on iOS and basically make it so make a bug where VPNs don't encrypt um, your data on the internet? I don't understand how that's a thing, but I'm kind of getting off topic. Um, so, yes, I've considered switching to Android. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm here to be honest with you guys. But again, I'm not doing this right away. In fact, I don't know if I'm doing it at all. I'm going to wait it out till iOS 14, and I'm going to follow it. I'm going to follow iOS 14, see where it goes, and make up my mind after the release of 14, maybe 14.1, 14, we'll just have to see how the beta cycle goes. Now, my options that I've thought of switching to if I do go to Android, it's not going to be Samsung. I've been down that road, and I just don't want to go there again. They make great hardware, don't get me wrong, but their software, in my opinion, is trash. So my options that I've been thinking about are either getting a Pixel um, either a 4 or a 5 when the 5 is released, or a OnePlus 8 Pro, which was just announced a couple days ago. And that phone is a beast. And it's being sold at Verizon. So that's a reason why I've considered that. So again, I don't know what's going to happen. It's not a guarantee that I'm going to switch to Android. I would prefer not to have to. Although if I did now, like I said, I would not mind at all. I think I'd be really happy because of the improvements. But I want to see I want to see Apple improve. I want to see their accessibility get better. I don't like what they're, their quality control right now is not good. And I feel it's like it's slipping. And I hope they can reverse that. But to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't feel confident that they will. And so I'm going to be following, like I said, iOS 14 is going to be huge for me. It's going to be a huge determining factor in what I decide to do. And a lot of you guys who know me and who have been and are OGs on my channel, you know that Android is what really ignited my passion for technology. It was the Android platform. It's where it all began for me. I didn't do it, blind/visually impaired people typically do, and this isn't really stereotyping. It's just something that happens. I didn't do that. I went right in. I jumped right into Android on Gingerbread. So I've gotten the experience and I've gotten familiar and comfortable. So, it wouldn't be a whole new learning curve for me. I could go back and forth like I've done before. I could go back to Android and be fine. So this was just a video about, me being completely honest. I had to get this off my chest because I've been holding this back for so long. And I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from because I always want to be honest with you guys. I want to be transparent. That's what I'm all about. I like when people are honest to me, and I feel like if I feel like if I want people to be honest to me, then I have to be honest to them. That's how I operate. So, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you'd like to leave your thoughts in the comments, feel free. But please, before you do, again, listen to earlier in the video, okay? And really think about what I said. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. I'm not gonna mention the word on YouTube because they don't really like it. They don't want it to be mentioned on YouTube, which is understandable, so I won't. But I hope you guys are keeping yourselves safe and keeping everyone else around you safe. So I'll be back soon with a new video. I'll keep you updated on my thought process going forward. And this will completely change, my Mac OS thoughts too. Because if I switch to Android, I'm not going to go to Mac. I may completely switch to Linux, or I may stay with Windows. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards switching to Linux. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out, everyone.